What's up, guys? So it's that time again. I've got a video coming for you guys. So I've been working away on the CRX. Tons of stuff going on. We've got SickWeek 2023 prep going down. So I moved the gas tank. It's in the middle now. You see I took the lid off. The lid, we're gonna weld a plate in it, and then I'm gonna put a -16 in the lid. So then I won't even have a lid there. So see, this is steel, right? So I'm gonna take, where's it at? My 3-inch hole saw right here. Boom. See, that fits in there. So cut a 3-inch hole saw hole, weld it in there. Boom, boom, steel, steel. Drill a hole, put a 16 AN on that. Boom, that's done. All right, next step. I've already gone ahead and welded a -6 steel weld-on bung onto the factory stock filler neck. You see that there. I took the CRX filler neck off. I flipped it around 180 degrees to allow how it factory mounts, and I drilled 3 new holes. So then I cut it a little bit past halfway, and you see that. So 3 new holes right there. Cut it a little bit past halfway. I'm gonna weld a 16 AN bung right onto there, and then we'll go through this hole and boop boop right there. Remote fill through the stock location. It's gonna be awesome. I'm so pumped. So as well as that, I've been working on the hitch. You see that, guys? We've got a hitch again. So I moved the gas tank down lower, so it's through the floor now. So then I had to build the bar that had a bend in it. So it comes in a little U shape up and around. I slash cut it. I have not finished welded this yet. It's just tacked, a few little tacks, 4 of them, I think, 2 of them maybe. A little bit more than 2, 3 probably. But so that is so far how this is gonna be. I'm pretty excited. I already gusseted this, got my little spider webs, and then I've been planning on how I'm gonna gusset this before I weld it up, because it is slashed. So it's gonna be a little different than the other one. I could do just little 2 triangle tubes, probably make it simple, keep it simple. Come down, boop, 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 some triangulation. But yeah, it's coming along great. I've got the rear radiator back on as well. Started plumbing that. I need to get a new water pump though. The electric water pump died over the winter. Seals went bad, and I tried to fix it, but it is actually, where did I put it? I don't even know where I put it at this point. Oh, it's right here. But it is actually the shaft. Like, there's a little rubber seal somewhere inside there. See that? There's a shaft. So it's not the side on the motor there, the white motor. It's not that side. It's the other side where the little water fin is. It just leaks water right out of there. Boop, boop, boop. So gotta get one of those. I want to do some wiring. We'll fix up this corner light. There's no mounting tab there, so I gotta figure out how to put a corner light on it for SickWeek, because we do need blinkers and brake lights and all that stuff. And so I gotta make all that stuff work again. The front end with this filter is just sick. So I don't have to run a clamp on the filter. The filter won't come off, can't fall off. It's on there. That's how it is. That's how it's going to be. And I love it. As well as all this jazz, I'm adding a second battery. There's a little battery box there. I had it in the trunk before, right here next to the fuel cell, but I just couldn't figure out how to get it. Like, it doesn't need a battery box because it's back here. So technically, like, that's the battery box. This is, you know, this box, but it needs some sort of tie down, and there isn't a whole lot of space over here to build a mount and a tie down. Like, I could do like a factory one where I drill 2 holes and have those studs, but like, that's, you know, it's still going to slide side to side a little bit and have some play. So I'd like to do something a little more stout and solid, and inside that box it will be just fine. It'll be perfect. So we'll go ahead and put it in the box. We'll do that. Yeah, we got our ground there. We got some stuff. Trailer lights are still wired, ready to go. We're cranking right along, guys. Kicking butt. So that's what we got going on, and I'm gonna bring you along for all of it. It's exciting. Let's do it. I think I'm gonna move the parachute up just a little bit, like right around there. But so the bumper has been falling off, so I took the bumper off so I could build some tabs off to hold the center of it. See, it's got those 3 circles, so we're gonna use those. We're just gonna do little flat tabs and bolt those 3 circles up so the middle stays up, because I haven't had the parachute on for a while now, and without the parachute it just keeps falling off. So I still have the sides mounted stock. I just need something in the middle, and some little flat tabs would be way lighter than what goes stock. It bolts up onto the back of this and just is a pain. All right, so the first step of getting a parachute bar figured out is going to be the crossbar here. So I think I'm gonna have to remove a lot of this so I can grind these nubs off. I still have the 2 nubs on either side of where the old bar was, and the old bar is too far gone. This thing is bent and bowed the most. It took most of the brunt, all of the brunt. So you see it's got a little taco in there. See that pipe in there? Yeah, it is cooked. So this was just a straight, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that took most of the hit, as well as this. These 2 things are the most bent. The hitch plate itself was still fairly straight. This, the parachute, I mean, it's, you know, that's bent there. And the big plate itself is not flat. It's kind of got a bow to it, as you can see. But this thing itself slid out of the tube just fine. This tube is a straight tube still, which is just crazy to me. With that, like, I could cut it off here and add a new, I mean, I could even use this, just hammer them or flatten them or something, you know, and then just get a new plate up here. Like, this piece right here is incredible because it hit the wall. It and the hitch hit the wall. These 2 pieces sticking out the back, bent up, turned. This pushed that, so this hit the wall, bending that, which pushed in on this, bending, did all that damage. And somehow this just, it's crazy. It's just crazy, the forces of life. But so I need to figure that bar out, and it's going to be pretty much the same but a little bit different. It's going to have a kind of a arch to it, but I'm going to notch it differently so the arch will push it up instead of just it coming back and around, because before it went right behind the gas tank, and now the gas tank is too far back. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to come up, we're going to come through probably right behind this sucker and bring it back around down over here. So we'll have to undo the pump and stuff and put it off to the side, just to get the wires and everything out of the way while we do this. Oh man, this is exciting. All right, so I've got a bar now that I think is gonna work. I just need to grind that down and clean this side off. I already got this side taken care of. I do need to clean off some of that seam sealer so I can weld this bar in there, but looks like that's gonna just be able to sit. I might have to change my notch a little bit, take some off the tip there. It's not allowing it to go all the way down, but so yeah, we'll get that to line up there, and then we'll grind this side down and get this side, go over that, because it's kind of tight, but we'll get it there. We'll get it there for sure. And then once we land that sucker, we will figure out where the parachute is gonna come out. All right, what is up, guys? So I had a killer night. We got a bunch done on this bad boy. So now, all right, so now we've got the parachute bar in. It's welded to the tube right here, as well as it's welded to the floor plate. So this tube is a little bit, my old tube had a slant to it, so it came back towards the back of the car and it was notched and welded forward into the tube this way. This one, it's more slash notched, so it's welded against this plate out here. It's welded on the tube where it needs to be, and then it's welded on the floor plate as well, because this wasn't in here when I welded the other tube in, so I would have so this is welded up in a couple of places as well as glued all the way around, and it would have taken so long to get that all the way out of there. So I welded it. The floor plates hang inside here, so I welded the bar to the floor plates, I welded the bar to the tubes, and the bar's not going anywhere. And then these are my little tubes. I'm gonna take these down for the support on top of the hitch. So the hitch is all pretty much done. I still need to mount the fuel filter, as well as finish up mounting the fuel cell. So the fuel cell is just sitting in here right now. There's no mount on it whatsoever, but it's coming along great. I'm really excited. It's got a parachute on it once again, so that was the step we had to take to be able to put these bars for the top support on. So went through, got the parachute all taken care of. got the bar on there. You know, I still need to drill the hole and get the pin and everything and do all that stuff, but I'm really excited. This is freaking, it's looking good, guys. It's coming together great. I'm so pumped up, you don't even understand. I've got the hitch almost all done for SickWeek, and the parachute bar is almost all back on. This is huge because the car has trapped over 150 2 or 3 times now, and I need the parachute for 150. The first time I went 151 in Bradenton, I did pull the parachute, but I had the wrong style parachute. So there's a couple different style parachutes. One requires a launcher or CO2, and the other is all spring based and spring style. I still need to mount the fuel tech and go through a bunch of wiring, but the car is coming together really, really well. All of this welding is going amazing. I'm really excited with how everything's turning out. We ended the season off with the old front end getting painted and touched up, but it is just so far out, it would require a lot of work. All around gonna be better having this front end. I need to fix this headlight still. We talked about that a little bit in the beginning of the video. The tab is broken. I might have to make something new or hang something down. I don't know. We'll definitely have to figure out how to get that corner light on there, but there's a bunch of little stuff I've done, like, see there's a little plastic cover in there. That used to not be there on SickWeek last year. We had a ton of water getting into the car when it was raining and stuff, and I didn't have that little plastic piece there. I'm still missing this, a bunch of little stuff, but try and get all these things taken care of so where we keep as much water out of the car as possible and just have a good time. SickWeek is going to be a mountain we're gonna have to climb, but I have no doubt in my mind that the CRX will be able to do it this year, no problem. And hopefully have a competitive overall to place in the top 5 even would be awesome. All right, guys, so we've got the parachute bar completed. The hitch is all built. The gas tank is tied down and mounted. I've fully welded these on the bottom. I need to get them welded on the top. I've got, my dad went ahead and welded this up for me. I have a 4-inch piece on the bottom here. Instead of welding it in the top, we welded it on the bottom, and then we welded a -16 right on the top of it there. And I already tested with this straight. It threads on pretty nice and easy, and I can get a wrench on it to tighten it, so that's good. But I'm gonna have a 90, and then this guy right here will be out here on that with a steel -16 welded onto that right there. So that'll be like that. This guy will come in here, and looks like I'll need a different line that's a little bit longer. But this guy will come in here. I keep dropping it. And we'll have a 90 from there. Boom, right to this line. Right out of there. Just like that. And then we'll be able to pop that sucker, fill it up. See? So, super sick. I also went ahead and I took, you see the battery's gone. I put the passenger seat in and started putting this battery box right here so I could put the battery right there. So I still need to mount the dash on the sides here, as well as get the fuel tech mounted up on the steering or whatever I'm gonna do there. I need to go ahead and figure out also what I'm gonna do with this, because my buttons are mounted in this and I could mount them in the dash, but I'm not sure yet what exactly I'm going to do. To take this out, I have to cut the bottom here because it is, or undo my shifter, because it is going through the bottom of it, and there's no way really at all to get that out other than to separate that bottom piece or separate the top piece, because I mean it's connected on both top and bottom somewhere. Continuing on the SickWeek prep, I went ahead and I pulled the center console all the way out and I started moving everything in over here. So you see we have the cigarette lighter and the buttons. Still need to mount the dash. It is just sitting right there, but that's where it's gonna go. I'm really excited. So I've been cleaning up a lot of stuff here, trying to get this wiring taken care of. I'm gonna definitely not leave the horn right there. So this little guy right here is the horn. So some of those wires are drooping right now because that's where that is, but the little wires little wires that head up right here go to the buttons, so I need to extend those wires so they can come around and then go down and come around with all these other ones, and clean all this up. I got a big old ball of wires here, so touch all that up, clean all that up, try and figure out what I'm gonna do with all this. And then this is the alternator wire. I'm gonna take it into here, into my inputs expansion, or maybe it's into this one to the outputs, because I think we output to turn that on. So we'll put that here into the outputs. Yeah, I'm excited. It's coming along really, really well. Just trying to button up and tidy up all this stuff, as well as I've been getting going back here. We got the rear battery. I need to get some all threads to tie that sucker down, but we're pretty much all done in the rear, besides making the line to fill the fuel pump. Everything else is made back there, and it's looking really good. I'm excited. All right, guys, so this morning I finally got my Dash 16 weld on, and I already got that sucker on there and made a line. So you see that? You got the vent there, and then the feed right there. It comes through a little hole. I'm thinking of putting the vent in that hole as well. I might have enough space there. I had to drill the hole. I had to drill the hole a little bigger for the Dash 16 to get through. So now I can go ahead and test if the fill is gonna work. If I have any pinholes, I did test this weld piece right here for pinholes. We filled the top of it with water and then waited to see if any would come through the bottom, and it did not. So next up, we're gonna have to fill the tank and see what's up. Hopefully my welds over on the filler neck are all good. My vent welds are all good. I think all of it's good, but I'm super excited. We got and it's actually one of the first times I've been outside with the car in super bright daylight, so we can see the front end and everything in the light. I'm super excited to check all that out. The dash I did mount and get it pretty much finished up. There's a few things I want to do, but I got a cigarette lighter in there and it works, and everything works there. The buttons are all on the dash. I need to mount the fuel tank itself still, but I've got the nano mounted there. It goes off of the other screws, these two right here. See these screws? It goes off those on this side. So it's got two little black screws in there. It's pretty awesome. I'm liking it a lot. It's coming together great. I got the seat belts in the passenger side. I would really like some blue ones or even black to match the driver ones, but I use what I got, and those are some ones out of another car that have expired, so they're not good for the year, but they're good for a passenger. So I got those in there, and I am just pumped up, man. This thing is coming together really, really well. It looks super good. And the light I've got right now, it almost looks darker. I love it. All right, guys, so I got a couple more things done today. I went ahead and lowered my shifter. So before I had the K-Series K-Tune shifter plate. It's about 3/4 inch thick underneath this, because it went over top of the factory hole, I guess you'd say, for the shifter. So I went ahead and cut that flat and bolted this all on flat, so everything's about 3/4 inch shorter, and I like it a lot. Feels great, and I dig it. So that's gonna be great. Then I went ahead and I mounted the fuel tech. I got it right in there. I like that a lot. So I am going to try and prop it like that. Like, it does take quite a bit of force to push it, so it probably won't rattle much, but I would like to push it back, and then I'm gonna weld or figure out how to put a little piece back here that supports from this up to the steering column, because all this stuff right here does not spin. The steering column spins inside of this tube, so I can go ahead and figure out how to connect those some way to keep this little bit of play we got, which it might not have when we're racing, or it might definitely have when we're racing, because tire shake is crazy. But all right, yeah, been tinkering right along. I got the all thread on the battery box and that all taken care of. I need to shorten this one. I don't like how long it is, but I got those done. I think
This one's sticking out the bottom further than this one, so I'll cut them both to the length I actually want and get everything set up there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the battery from the boat in here. That thing will last us all of SickWeek, and it'll have so much cold cranking amps that it's not even a problem. So we're gonna keep on tinkering and getting ready, but this thing's coming together and looking really, really good. Alrighty, so in preparation for SickWeek, we've been trying to get the car to where we can drive it on the road. Yesterday, I did put gas in it, filled it through the filler neck, and you kind of have to fill it pretty slow. So it is only a -16 line, which with a pump behind it completely sealed, you can flow fuel pretty fast. But going through a funnel into the side of the car, kind of got to let it, you really just got to fill it by ear and kind of listen to the air as it's going in, because there comes to a point where you could hear it's really starting to gurgle and trying to get it all in, but you're just going too fast. So I've got fuel in the tank now. This is actually 85 in there right now, but I am pretty excited. It's the first time I fueled it up since I did all this, and I also remounted it with the bulkhead and everything, and I'm liking it a lot. It's looking really, really good. Everything seems amazing. It's not dripping. Yeah, so still need to get a coat of paint on everything in here, but it's come together really, really well. I'm loving it. So today I'm going to change out my rear shocks though, because both of them are blown. I do have a set of strange suspension. It was on the car for a little bit, but my two fronts blew out and I was trying to get them rebuilt, so I just took them all off and got some CX for now. But my rear CXs are blown, and I'm going to swap back to these Stranges now. Currently I have 1,000-pound springs, 18K on the rear. Those are 800-pound springs, around 15K. They are 10-inch springs though, whereas these ones are 7-inch springs. So it changes some things there with travel and stuff, as well as the valving is definitely different. These ones are mono adjustment, so I only have the one on top to adjust both compression and rebound, whereas the Strange is actually double adjustable. So I have control of just the rebound and just the compression on their own. And that'll be really good for tuning and stuff to figure this out some more. I need to get some bolts and a few little things to do that up. Gotta grab some bolts for the fuel tech and the fuel tech mount. I need to paint that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and run to Ace, get some bolts, get some stuff. All right, so I've got the fuel tech all bolted up. Some nice new bolts. Check the suckers out. So technically I still do have to pull that bracket off and paint it, but you know me, I'll do that last freaking minute. Right now we're taking the old suspension off and putting the Strange on. So this suspension, you can see these top hats are kind of bent, as well as this thing is all the way stiff right now. See that? So these things are just cooked all the way stiff. I can pull them in and out really easy. When I take the Strange and put them on all the way stiff, I can't compress them. So we're getting this thing all back together now. I've got the Strange on the driver's side so far, and I had to shorten up the trailering all the way because the Strange is just so much tighter. The bushing and everything in this thing does not allow it to move as far as that one did, and I probably shouldn't have even moved that one as far as I was backwards in the first place, because you see there is a definite angle on the Strange right now, and that is even with it moved all the way forward. I had it moved as far back as I could. The wheelbase is probably 90 inches again, as whereas before I had it almost 92, and I like to get it 92 for sure. So got to get all these things figured out, get the energy top hat, so then we can get angled and make this thing do what it needs to do. All right, so we are just knocking things out on this thing. I borrowed the battery from the boat, so we've got a high amp hour secondary battery. I got the water pump from Show Enough currently on here. They ordered me my own / Show Enough a new one. This one was through the fire, so it doesn't look the prettiest. The wires are slightly shorter, but that's not gonna hurt me none. I'll put a plug on the end of it and it'll be good to go. I'm really excited because my dad helped me make these. My dad and Steven helped me make these little pieces on the end here. See, there's a little coolant there for me putting this on. But they're 16 ORB to 5/8 hose barb, which I think is awesome. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I ran some wires over here underneath the carpet. We've got a plug and a ground hiding. So there's the ground, and then the plug is right here. That is going to be the power for our fan and water pump. And then on top of that, I also ran those wires over here to this side, over to this guy here. So this is where all my chaos is, where I just added 2 more relays. So now I have a total of 6 relays right here. See that? 4, 5, 6. So 2 on the end are going to be fan and water pump, and then I allocated those. I just did a bulkhead here, so now we have powers. Before we were out of powers, now we have powers, and then I just, where's the other one? I think that is this one down here. So yeah, so we put the bulkhead here, that's this power wire there, right there, and then we allocated, see, we used all of our yellow outputs. We are out of yellow outputs now. We have 1 gray output left, and we allocated the fuel pump. We have the brushless fuel pump with 2 modes, so now the second mode will be able to be controlled by the fuel tech, as well as we put the alternator into the fuel tech, and then the fan and the water pump. The fan and the water pump were before on a switch, so that's going to be way nicer. And then I got a lot of foot room for Steven while doing all this too. Just made it all nice and neat going over there to that side. Tried to shrink all that up as much as possible. Going back to the back, it's looking really good. And then we used to have a bunch of steering play. Now we do not, because I just changed my steering rack. I still want to change the tie rods, but I think I'm going to get an alignment this Saturday. I'm pretty excited for all that. I just changed the rear shocks and everything, and it's going to be a completely different car after this.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
All right, guys, so Jared is back and we're rolling and we're going over the CRX alignment for SickWeek. I just changed the tie rods, the steering rack, the rear suspension. A lot of stuff is different. I had to shorten the trailing arms because of the springs back here. They're super close to the body, but everything's looking great. Let me get this thing all checked out. We're getting it all set up right now. I'm pumped up. We got the laser beams out.
Inner rods are a little different.
They are a little different. All right, so got this side all set up. Way better. Height and everything we checked. The wheel, the track width is still the same. The front's a little bit wider than the rear. And he's got this sweet new tool that levels the steering wheel while we set up the toe and everything. Just looks really sick. So we just changed everything pretty much steering wise, so I'm trying to get it all re-straightened out. Killer.
This season we're gonna beat Steven.
This season we're gonna beat Steven.
What's up?
Yep. All right, so we just checked the height with the jack. We went up in the air, and the camber, as we went up, we only went up an inch, but the camber as we went up went down and zeroed out, so it had 0 camber under, under load is where we consider it. And then the toes kind of went out just a little bit, but not enough that it's gonna really scrub speed, but it'll keep the car straight and should react really well. It's awesome. Jared kills it, man. Sets this thing up. We thought it was gonna be a little bit more of a challenge. We thought we were gonna kind of start at square one with everything, but it's kind of just, I don't know, every time after the first one, it's just been going smoother and smoother.
Right.
That first one was an all-day thing, but we're getting it. I just fixed the corner light wiring, so I need to get a corner light, but that is almost completed on the front end there. It's coming along, guys. It's getting closer and closer. I went through the gate. The set screws were falling out, so took care of the gate, got the gate all fixed up, and just kind of going through things, checking things out. The alignment is looking great. Super excited for all of that. Car pushes in and out really, really easy. Jamie's cleaning my injectors to make sure those are good and set to jet. Just put plugs in it, but all right. So I just made a little tab bracket, see in there, that guy, that will hold the corner light. It's metal. It is screwed onto the headlight right there. So this side, you see, still has the factory tab and everything that holds this guy, and that side did not. So we just made our own little factory tab in the same spot, screwed it in, bent it up, put the thing over it, and now a screw will be able to go through it, tighten down, and hold the corner light. So just gotta get a corner light on there, and boom, that's fixed, ready to go. All right, so I just put the rebuilt transfer case in that I fixed after that Dreamfest event when I shattered everything. And so I've actually got the boost pipe off now and the shifter mechanism out so that we can tack those bolts before SickWeek. And actually, when I pulled it out, I had one loose bolt, and it was the third bolt. I don't know if it's ever came loose before that one. There are 2 bolts on the shaft piece that goes side to side and shifts it into gears, and then there's 1 bolt on the other piece that actually turns that. So the 1 bolt that actually turns it has came out, and 1 of them on the shaft has come out, but I think the 3rd one was actually loose this time. I tightened it up and I just cleaned everything off, torched it up, got it all warmed up, and we're going to tack that stuff and make sure that it does not come out at all this week for this week of SickWeek. So let's go. All right, so my dad just went ahead and tacked those bolts up for me, and now I'm getting everything put back together. So I've got the Allens in there now, and I just got to get everything all figured out, make sure it's all right. I believe I nailed it first try this time, but how we know is we check everything over, make sure this guy's out of our way. So everything's looking good there on the in and out. So I'm gonna put this guy on, make sure I put it in the middle right there. Oh, come on, baby girl. There we go. And then it's just got these 512s, and it's good to go. We'll make sure everything shifts once it's all on, but you guys know the deal. Alright guys, so I'm really thankful for the mid plate because without it I would not be able to be doing this right now. That Allen right there cannot be removed without the engine mount being removed, and thankfully we were able to take that sucker off and the engine did not move at all. Didn't lower a bit. Let's get a ratchet and tighten these suckers up. Alright, so I got a new corner light, fitted all up on there perfect. Worked on my little tab that I made, super nice, looks killer. Super excited, everything's coming together. Just gonna do a bolt check, run through everything real quick, make sure it's ready to run. Running through everything, I just did a suspension bolt check. Everything's looking nice and tight. The new rear arm is tight, all the front arms are tight, control arm's tight, shock's tight. I checked the steering rack since I replaced that. Rear shocks are all tight. Yeah, I could check a couple more things back here in the rear. I did not check everything in the rear, but I did just change a lot, go through a lot. We did the alignment. Everything should be tight back here, but we'll double check on top of all that. The car is right around the corner, so I just need the injectors to be flowed backwards or something to get those ready to go. And then we're gonna go on some test drives and get that all figured out. But I got some brake fluid. We're gonna need brake fluid in our trailer on our stuff for sure. So I need to go ahead and actually bleed the brakes a little bit. It definitely is working better since I added some fluid. My fluid was really low, so I topped my fluids off, and everything's looking a little bit better. I didn't wear the boots today in case we do some driving, in case the injectors get cleaned, because we need to be able to feel the clutch, and I'm super excited.
What's up, guys? So we're cruising CRX. Pretty much the final step before SickWeek. I got the trailer to the shop, getting it all loaded up, ready to go. Man, am I pumped up. They've got the Freedom Civic on the dyno at the shop right now. They're getting that sucker ready to go. And I'm out test driving, making sure she's ready. I'm so excited. Man, the CRX, dude. It's been a long time. She hasn't driven since August or September. like we gotta fix the front wheel speed. We're going like 200 or 300 miles an hour, but we're really only going like 40. I guess we never updated the front wheel speed on the pump gas tune after I set up front and rear wheel speed, so it's all different. We'll get it. All right, guys, so we're loading the trailer all up. I need to get 4 keyed lug nuts for the back wheels because other styles do not work. And then I just need the 4 purple ones for the front here from my toolbox that I have a bunch of. So this year we have a lot more room. We don't have an engine or a transmission in here. I do have is all the T-case parts that I have left in that box. I've got 2 sets of front and rear axles in there. And then a bunch of tools, funnels, a couple coils, a bunch of good stuff in there. So getting everything set up. I got my oil drain pan, I got 4 jack stands, the air compressor, as well as some straps and hi Lily, how are you? Nice to see you outside. Some straps and bungee cords to get all that in there. All right, guys, so the CRX is all packed up, all loaded up, ready for SickWeek. Man, does it look good up there. So we've got the front strap down. We have not strapped the back down yet because we're not sure if we're gonna need to pull this thing forward or even remove the trailer for when the Freedom Civic comes on. So they're getting the Freedom Civic all buttoned up and taken care of. They tuned it today, they got it finished up. It looks like things are gonna be ready to rip. So I'm packed up and ready to go. That's gonna be it for today. That's gonna be it for SickWeek prep. Thank you guys for coming along. I know I haven't made a video in way too long and this one took way too long to make, but the flagpole is holding on pretty good. I'm not gonna take it though. I'll probably bring it, but I'm not gonna leave it hung up because it used to have a screw in there and it busted. So now that it is not fastened down, I'm not gonna have it on the trailer until I fasten it down, because that would be a terrible trip to Florida, losing that thing and it going through something. Ugh, bad. But thank you guys all for tuning in. This thing looks awesome. I'm glad to be going to SickWeek. I'm glad it's ripping again, ready to roll. Thank you, Gordo, for letting me borrow your slicks. Thank you, Chris, for letting me borrow the generator. Thank you, Brad and Austin, for all the pig mat and the straps and the tarp and all those goodies you brought me. I appreciate you all, and this is gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Big Red's back out. I appreciate Mario for letting me build a trailer out of his original Harbor Freight trailer frame. This was originally for Mario's car, and he never ended up getting around to the trailer. So thank you for everyone that has come together so we can make this happen. It's gonna be huge.